Resolution that matters.
I'm going to turn on the record.
Uh,
Hey, Pete.
Hello,
Howdy, Pete.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Pete.
We didn't know
Good
if
to
you'd
see
make
you.
it. I thought everybody in Florida had COVID.
Well, we're lucky. We've been hibernating.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
we have too, because it's just crazy. I mean, it's not supposed to be as bad as the old COVID, but it's just a lot of people getting sick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's all kind of things going around. Three of my grandkids were down around Christmas, but they were all tested. It's not COVID. And it's not the flu. They just have this virus going around and causes a bad cough. You know,
Hmm.
all of them caught it. And so I haven't been able to go over to their house because I can't bring home anything to, Bonnie and her dad. So
Yeah.
so I've got all their Christmas presents still here under the tree. They haven't been over yet. Howdy, Snake.
Shoot.
Hey, Snake.
Hey, Snake. Somehow I hid my video.
What?
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
Can
Did,
anybody
did you
see
ever
me?
get?
I
Did you
can
ever
see
get
you,
my
Pete.
Pete, you're
email?
there. I can see you. You're fine. I can hear you. What's wrong?
Oh, well,
You can't see us?
there we go. No, my picture is in black and white, and I can only see half of my face.
No,
That's
you look
not-
great. And
We got your whole face and it's in
yeah,
color.
got your whole face.
I don't know why. It's been doing that for the last couple of weeks.
It's either Pete or George Clooney. I can't make up my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Snake, what's the weather like?
Today it's 59.
Wow.
That's what it is here.
It's been cold though.
Yeah, 67 here.
We got a bunch of snow on Wednesday.
Yeah, we got a bunch of snow on Tuesday,
Yeah.
Monday or Tuesday. I don't know.
Which those folks on I-95 in Virginia.
We were talking about that. That was tough. I'm glad it wasn't me.
What was that?
Well, there's a stretch of 95 where a whole bunch of trucks. First, it starts with it's raining. So they can't pre-treat the highways when it's raining because they usually spread, salt and all kinds of stuff. They can't do that. Then it starts snowing. And before they could get out there with all their ice equipment, a bunch of 7 tractor trailers had an accident. So then they had to end up shutting down the highway, but all these people are on it for about a 30-mile strip. And they were stuck on there for over 20 hours before they finally got them all off. And no food. But there was a bread truck,
Yeah, I
this
saw
big
that.
18-wheeler. And so the driver calls the dispatcher people and they say, yeah, give it away. So some other people helped them and they just started giving away all these loaves of bread and stuff. But there was no place to go. Everybody had to get out of their car to pee or
Yeah,
whatever, and probably colder than shit. And
Mhm.
literally.
I'm glad I wasn't in that.
but that made my wife and I think, we should put like a blanket and a few, like a little few things in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But have we? No. But we thought about it.
I've done that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do keep emergency stuff in the car when I'm going on a trip, but I wouldn't have thought of all the stuff you would need for that though, Although
yeah,
we
and
all
lots of
travel
times,
with a lot of food.
well, lots of times I'll get in the car with, like a t-shirt on or something, even when it's really cold, because I'm getting in the car and the car has a heater. But if you'd get stuck, you'd be screwed.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Run out of gas and nowhere to heat.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron, before the snow, did you get any of that smoke from the wildfires?
There was some smoke in the air, but it was blowing east, so it west of us, so everything blew east.
Okay.
But it was about 10 miles from my place.
Well, speaking of that, I talked to Kent McBride for about an hour, and he's right in the middle of all that stuff. And his house was fine. his daughter's house, they had to evacuate, but it didn't burn down. So they got back in it the next day. And one of the kids' schools evacuated, but again, it didn't burn.
Yeah, 1,000 homes.
There's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of homes.
Well,
That's a lot of people.
You can see the fire. I watched it on the television, and every time it jumped from a house to a house, it was just white hot.
Mm.
God, it was terrible.
I mean, I don't know if this is true, but I thought I had read when I was, because Kent and I stayed out in Denver for a while, a long time ago. And I thought that Denver had all brick houses because it had because from the wooden houses had almost burned down.
Well, that Superior is a fairly new community.
Oh,
And so is Louisville. And there's a lot of wood homes up there, expensive ones too.
yeah.
And but yeah, the people lost everything. Yeah, that's a hell of a fire. 1,000 homes.
It hit them so fast too. I'm surprised there wasn't more casualties. You know?
I think there was one, and there's still 2 missing, I believe.
Mhm.
But they deemed that one was dead, and but it was just a nightmare.
They showed videos that this lady was shooting at she was in a fun arcade or something in a strip mall with her kids. And all of a sudden the fire just came up. They didn't even know it was coming. And also they said there was about 100-mile-an-hour wind outside or something. And she said they could see the smoke and they could see everything coming, but they couldn't push the door open to get out of the arcade because the wind was blowing so hard against them, you know? So they thought, you know, and then when they finally did get in their car, there was such a traffic jam with everybody trying to flee. You know, it's like
They ordered evacuation of 2 towns, and
wow.
there was 110-mile-an-hour winds.
Mm.
And, they said it was the wind dropped over a power cable and it ignited in the grass.
Ah. And then the snow came just a few hours after that, 8 inches of snow.
Well, the
So
next day,
If it was
that
snowed
helped.
first, it probably wouldn't have happened. Yeah.
It was a day early, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a real catastrophe.
So was it strictly the
Yes,
Denver Boulder area or what?
It's what?
What area got hit mostly?
It's east of Boulder. It's well, it started in the foothills of Boulder. Then it went east about well, the town of Superior and the town of Louisville.
Okay.
And if you look on the map, they're real close.
Okay.
And the Highway 36 goes right between the 2 towns, and it jumped the freeway there. But I guess they had started a GoFundMe around here, and it's raised 25 million or so already.
Wow.
25 million. I know where to start a GoFundMe if I need one.
Well, this was, there's thousands of people out of homes and out of possessions. They got away with it closing the back.
Good Lord. Yeah.
Yeah, that was,
But then that's a big job of distributing the money.
well, I suppose, but man, what a cleanup. I don't know if the
Yeah.
towns will survive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Especially Superior. It's a little community, and it just virtually took the town.
mm,
Yeah. They're talking about home insurance is going up, like it
Yeah,
went up 11% in the last couple of years, whereas inflation went up like 3%. So
Well, we're in a hail belt too, so that doesn't help.
hail
We
belt.
get hail every year. And
that's pretty bad if you own a car dealership.
well, that's true. Or, you got a roof, you got to replace it every couple of years.
Yeah. Or if you're in the glass replacement business, I guess you got a nest on the ground there.
Well, I suppose, but
I remember probably 10 or 15 or more years ago, they had a horrific hailstorm in Orlando, and all those car dealerships
Yeah.
they're dinging the roof, dinging the trunk, and the hoods.
we had
And that's when they came out with the Landau roof where they just
Oh, yeah.
covered it over.
Mm.
yeah, I tell you, those things are really, really saddening.
Well, it just seems like more and more stuff is happening nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't know what I grabbed first, my banjos or what?
Well, I was thinking about that the other day because if that's happen if I had to leave the house within 5 minutes, Jesus, I don't know what I'd grab because everything's all over the place.
I know. I've got so many collectibles, I don't know what I grabbed first, just
Yeah,
probably get my ass out of town.
it's pretty much it. Just hope your insurance covers the rest. Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff here too, but for hurricanes, you really can't take a lot with you. I mean, you can't take, you just go somewhere for a week or so until you power
But
comes
what-
back on. You
But
get
what
the
about your birth certificates, that kind of stuff? Do you grab that stuff or?
You can always replace that. I mean, we keep a little box of things that we're going to take with us, I think all the birth certificates are in there, but that's something you can always go to BVS and Bureau of Vital Records and get again.
Okay.
And we keep ours in the safe deposit box at the bank.
Well, the bank wasn't even safe up there. I don't know if it burned down, but it burned down a whole hotel. They evacuated the hospital.
Mm.
Uh,
Well, that vault has got something to it. That should protect it.
Yeah, well, I've got a safe right behind me, but
Yeah.
I don't know how it's rated, how much it's rated for.
Well, I also thought that if we had to have a party sometime, we'd come to your basement because your refrigerator over there looks pretty stocked.
Yeah, it's well, I've always got some beer.
Yeah. And then you collect the bottles when you're finished with them. So what the heck?
Well, I pretty much stick to canned beer, but
Oh, okay.
and I stick to Budweiser, so
All right. Okay.
I'm not a craft beer fan.
No, I'm not either.
I'm a Yingling guy.
Yuengling
Yeah.
is good stuff. Yep, that is good.
Barry Mike.
How are they doing that?
I don't know.
Guess they're,
And give
Maybe they're together.
one of them's visiting, I guess.
Yeah,
And I see Gim's coming too.
he's connected to audio.
But everybody, we'll see in a minute.
See, Jim's trying to get in.
We're here.
Yeah, Gim's trying to, well, his mic's on now. He's got to get his camera.
Barry,
There's
Hey,
Barry.
Bob.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm in my garage with Mike Gentry and Danny Rubio.
No way.
Oh,
Wow.
trifecta.
I got a crowd over here.
There you
Yes.
go.
They trying to go on their own device, but they're
They can't.
behind me. I don't know if you can see Mike. Y'all see Mike?
Yeah, there's Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey,
Y'all
Mike.
see Danny?
There's
Hey,
Danny.
Danny.
Hey, Danny.
All right. That's pretty cool. So they're going to all try to get on at the same time?
I guess. I told them they could look on my computer and that would work, but they want to play their own game.
I see.
And look, Gim, a little while ago, Mike and I were watching you at Carnegie play Ain't Misbehaving.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, we saw it about an hour ago. We watched. We sat down and put the Carnegie thing, the concert on a big TV with the big sound system. I tell you, that
Cool.
big sound system made you sound good, Gim.
Cool. All right. I need all the help I can get.
That's what we were saying.
Thanks a lot.
And look, there's Peter. Okay, look, since we let me look it up on my phone. When we last met, we had a conversation going, and I asked Mike for some help on this. Let me look it up. Are you in, Danny?
Not yet, I'm coming.
It might take me a second to look it up.
Hey, guys, I was rummaging through some stuff and I found this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, WC Fields.
Remember those WC Fields?
Mhm.
Alive and drunk at your father?
Yeah.
I won't, Mike, I can't get in. Click open on the dialogue.
Oh, we can hear you on Barry's, so.
Wait, let me get a second.
I am.
That's the only problem y'all might have is if everybody's mics are hot, it might make a weird sound once y'all all get on.
We'll
Mike
go.
and Danny's been making weird sounds for about 40, 50 years.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that, you know, your sound will bleed into each other's microphones is all. That's all. But,
So last time we met, we were talking about the connection between the mustache and Disney.
Oh,
All right. And Peter, who's on here, certainly played with Disney for a long time, and so did Mike behind me. But to help him, Mike, I got a list of musicians we know of that played at the Mustache and went on to Disney. Listen to this list: Banu, Buzzy, Sonny, Peter, Peter Babcock, Gentry, Yoke, Tim Shea, H, Bob Adams, Ben Smith, Dave Gannett, Peter Vrianides, Eddie Davis, Buck Kelly, Art Dragon, and Ed Cuneo. That's a long list, huh?
wow.
Looks like Joel should have gotten a founder's fee.
Call it your father's mustache south.
Yeah, can you believe that? There's a lot of mustache people, huh,
Wow.
Peter?
Yeah, that's amazing.
I bet you never thought of it like that. And there's probably other ones we haven't thought of. That's me and Mike trying to put the list together.
Yeah.
Charlie Borneman's on that list.
I remember
Look
because
at Charlie Borneman.
Did Borneman play both? Mustache and Disney?
You
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
knew he was at
Hey, that's
Disney.
another one then.
Charlie Borneman?
Charlie Borneman.
I think he was at Point Pleasant.
yeah,
Oh, he was in New York with me.
no, it was a pleasant surprise once when I went with took Bonnie and the kids. We were down there, but it was in the '90s, and I saw Mike Gentry playing on the riverboat. You know, because I wasn't expecting it. It was out in the Dixie Landing area, I think.
Yeah, we started to get feedback around here.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
working on it.
well, what's going to
Let's
happen?
turn off the mic.
if you-
Just turn on the mic.
I'm working on it.
No problem, Danny. It's okay. So I've talked to Kent McBride. He's, you know, his house is fine. He's doing good. And I got a message from Joel the other day. He just said we should have a good time on this, and he's glad nobody was getting old anymore. So
Danny,
Hi, Danny.
Hey,
Danny,
Yeah, so we got the crew over at my house.
sounds good.
Mike's visiting, so Danny came over. We're gonna go have dinner tonight.
yeah. So where y'all going to eat?
We haven't decided. We're gonna let Danny pick.
Okay,
probably Venetia's.
Venetia. Oh boy, that's a good one.
They got good,
Go to Bricata's for dessert.
they got good ribeyes too.
Mhm.
Was this?
Sounds good.
I see a couple clips from Chris. He's in Rome, I guess.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
is
been
he?
around until March. Yeah, yeah, right.
Wow.
Who's that? Who's in Rome?
Chris Fenimore.
Chris
Oh,
Fenimore.
Fenimore. Yeah.
Fenimore.
Fenimore, yeah.
Fenimore. Oh, man.
How have you been, Danny?
All good. I got COVID about 6 weeks ago.
It was like a
It was like a terrible cold, worst cold I ever had.
Little
Little body ache, never got any fever.
Really?
And after my 10 days of quarantine, it still took about a week to feel good. But I'm good now.
Wow.
Good.
Good.
that's
You
my
caught
crew.
it. You caught it.
Now, Lee
playing with-
Floyd just texted me. Lee works for me on Mondays and Tuesdays. And he had COVID a couple of months ago. He texted me today. He says he's got it again. He can't play next week.
Oh, brother. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll see you next Tuesday at our lunch too.
Right at they specialize in meatballs, tabs.
Dab's Bistro.
Yeah, meatball joint.
Interesting.
Anyway,
I can't get in. So Mike and I looked at a whole bunch of mustache photos from my phone, taken during some reunions. And I'll have to send y'all some because it's pictures we haven't seen on here, you know?
Yeah. Because we don't have anything new.
I got some new stuff.
Oh, you do? I was
Just
trying to
about.
download your stuff. I haven't gotten it downloaded yet.
Yeah. Well, I uploaded the rest of the stuff from the reunion and that I shot.
Yeah.
And I put it in a Google Drive, and anybody that wants it, if you just give me your email address, I can send you a link to my Google Drive. You could download all of it. You know, it's all the clips from the band playing in the bar and upstairs and the rehearsal and all the talking with Joel and stuff. And also, I didn't put any pictures in there yet, but I found
video, It's video clips.
It's video clips. What we've been playing online here, from when y'all were playing jamming upstairs and also down in the bar when everybody first rolled in.
Oh, yeah.
And the rehearsal before I didn't record the actual concert. It wouldn't let us bring a camera in, you know.
I'd like to get it, Bill.
Okay.
My email address is on the invitation.
Right. I'll go ahead and send you a link to it. And if you get into the Google Drive, you can, it'll be a folder, and I broke the folder down into like the band playing in the bar, the band playing upstairs at the reception, people telling stories about Joel, and then the reception after the concert where Joel was handing out the t-shirts and talk.
These are clips that you took, Billy?
Was that? Yeah, this is all video I shot with my little handy cam, you know, so it's shaky some places, but it's better than nothing. Yeah.
Tell you what, I see Danny. I know Danny's right behind me, but I see his face on the screen. He's some ugly. Jesus. Oh man.
He just gave you the bird.
Kind of extinguished to me.
Yeah, you'd be extinguished. I was gonna sign in as Yo-Yo Pineka.
Yeah.
You ever hear that name before? Joe Terra used to call people Yo-Yo Pineka.
Yeah.
I don't know who he called Yo-Yo Pineka, but he occasionally used that name, Yo-Yo Pineka. Who else, Barry?
And Harry Bacala.
Harry Bacala. Yo-Yo Pineka.
Hey, Mike, you been following that Colorado fire?
I can hear you say again.
Did you follow that Colorado fire?
I read about it, but yes, that's north of y'all, isn't it?
It's north, and it started in Boulder foothills and went straight east. It wiped out the town of Superior and some of Louisville.
Is Kalachi still there?
No idea. I haven't been up there.
Yeah.
But it's 1,000 homes.
I'll be back in just a second. I gotta write down some numbers here to get in on here. I can't get in.
He's trying to get in. He can't hear him on my computer.
Oh, I think you should just snuggle up close to you and you'll both do it.
You don't want to do that.
Oh, okay.
I don't want him to do that.
All right. Well, here's some of Billy's stuff. Here's another thing from John.
On my phone.
Put it on.
I come to this meeting today and I'm saying, wow, I can't wait to find out all the great memories we had. First thing Joe says to me, he said, John, my favorite memory of you is came up 2 flights of stairs to my bedroom. I said to him, Joe, I'm gonna be sick. I laid down in bed and I had a convulsion. I put a book in your mouth. My wife says, what happened? She said, you chewed it. I go over to Ron Slater. Ron Slater said, John, remember when you had a convulsion in my house? Put my wallet in your mouth. I still got the teapot. Jeff Olswine comes to me. Jeff says, John, remember Lake Compound? You had a convulsion in Lake Compound. I called my father, that was a doctor, to take care of you. All right. Then Pete comes over to me. He said, you remember Cheyenne Frontier days? You were in the orphanage where we were staying, and you fell and you hit the radiator, and you had If I remembered all the compulsions, I wouldn't be an epileptic. The thing that I remember most about Joe, I am most appreciative about Joe, is he gave you a chance to fail. And I took a lot of opportunities. Started out as a bookkeeper, I became a purchasing agent, I became a auditor. And then one day, he had this crazy idea that the only one who can run the musicians outside of the club was another musician. Now, not.
I got it.
That's the stupidest idea I ever had. Everything was going along fine, and we had a guy named Ron Ball, who was a tuba player, running the show. Two guys with an Italian accent walked in and said, "Where's the money from the restaurant?" They didn't know that we didn't have money in the office. So he said, "I don't have the money." They took out a gun, they shot at him, and then by his ear stuck in the wall. Ron quit. Joe, Ron. I said to Joe, "Here's my chance. Let me run with you." He said, "Okay." He said, "Just one thing you got to remember. You've got to put more than one show in a row. You've got to have many roads, many people, as many shows as you can. That way you spread the expense over." So I would send people to Lake Compounds. We got some people from Compounds here. And I said, "Look, guys, you all the beer you can, and you're riding the roller coaster as much as you want." Sent them to Cheyenne Frontier Days.
Yeah.
Put them up in the left for the wing of a orphanage. I even, for entertainment, I tried to break a Mustang from them.
Played that, Brian.
I played that.
We went to some of the
We were in
weirdest
an orphan.
I could find. Not because I wanted to, but because I listened to Joe. Book as many as he can. And that was the beginning of my success in life. All my life, I just remember, the more you do, the more money you make.
Certainly miss John being on these Zoom calls.
I'm sorry, what did you say? I couldn't hear it.
I said we miss John being on these Zoom
Oh,
calls.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, most definitely.
I'm the only one who's had difficulty with the audio.
I couldn't hear
We
you.
having trouble with the audio because we have 3 devices within 6 feet of each other.
Mhm.
Mike,
Did the video sound okay?
Mike, you need to mute yours.
The audio kind of
We're
bounces.
gonna mute 2 of them and then we'll fix it.
Stick it on mute.
Yeah.
Stick it on mute. Oh, that's a shot.
Okay, hang on. Oh, here we go.
You still.
Okay, I got it. Hang on.
This is something I found basically on the floor at your father's mustache when I was working there. It was a proof sheet for the band's shots, I guess they were getting at some point, you know. So I found it and I kept it all these years, and I found it in my box of stuff. So it was the at least the New Orleans band, and it was like a couple other people.
It looks like me and Mike and
Yeah,
Peter?
Peter and Maynard. I did. Let's see when we get back to that folder here. I did enlarge some of the shots here. Here's Pete. Let me see. Share screen.
oh, Pete was ugly back then.
Yeah,
Yeah. This is just basically me enlarging the little site pieces of that.
Either clueless or watching somebody breastfeed their baby.
You heard that Danny said Peter looks either clueless or he's watching somebody breastfeed their baby.
yeah. Sounds about right.
It might be both. Yeah,
Happy little soldier.
yeah. As I had one of Mike too. Let's see. Let me share it. It takes a second. There he is.
Gay.
It looks pretty straight.
He looks.
Hey, all right.
Prince Valiant.
Yeah,
He looks a little bit like Bruce O'Neill.
yeah. Yeah.
Eye contact.
I can't believe how erect your banjo is, though.
Very direct banjo.
That's what all the girls used to tell it.
Yeah. That's, I got some more. Let me see. It just takes a second to put the pieces on there. Pete, there's Roger. Yeah, here's one, Barry. Let me share
I know
that.
this is gonna be good. Oh, you know that.
Yeah.
God.
Tell you what, I had some hair, huh?
Yeah. It kind of like all blended in with your face, like all the way down. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
wow.
Look, I had an erect one too.
I see that.
First
Bring
time?
back the 70s, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, these are just like little, I'm sure y'all probably got prints off of this, but this was just a contact sheet that I found. And I said, I'm gonna keep this. You
I
know,
wonder if Barry took those.
Probably.
What'd
I
you
don't know
say,
if it was-
Peter?
Barry was a bartender and a photographer.
Mhm. Yeah, let's see. And here's one of the whole band. Let's see.
Oh yeah, that's the famous one.
I've seen that picture before, yeah.
Yeah. That's the
I
famous.
kind of, I did a little cropping because on the left of on Maynard's left, I mean, right would have been the rebel flag. So I cropped it a little bit.
I got that one in my garage right here. One of the original.
Yeah, so I guess that was Barry that shot it. And must have left a contact sheet at the club because I saw, I picked it up, I'm surprised at how well it enlarged. Well, I scanned it at a pretty high resolution and I said, let me see if I can make some of these pieces bigger.
The only decent looking guy in that picture was Maynard. You can't see him from the shadows.
Yeah. Let's see. And they had Roger was in there somewhere, not in that picture, but let's see where to go. Roger. It was part of the contact sheet. Just in case he tunes in, we got him too.
Oh, my goodness.
That was a while
my
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he's very sexy.
Come take a bite of my apple, little girl.
Exactly.
I remember one night, it was early, we had just opened and Roger had a date with a stripper from up the street.
Oh, Lord.
And she came in and she was sitting at the bar and I was talking to her and Roger had good taste in women.
Was it a guy or a girl?
No, it was a girl. It was a good looking woman.
Go ahead,
Oh, the guy
Peter.
across the street. No,
No, it was-
the strippers, all the boys on inside would come over to our place to use the ladies' dressing restroom.
Well, I remember one
Guys
night
look
I was
better than
working.
girls.
One night I was working the door and Roger was standing next to me and Tinkerbell came from across the street. And
Oh,
Roger said, Tinker, this is Tom. You know where Tom's from? No, Tom's from Missouri. You know what Missouri's famous for? That's the show me state. And Tinker just,
I was living in Greenwich Village, and one night, playing at the Mustache, outside the door is Tinkerbell. New Orleans is Tinkerbell.
wow.
In the village. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
He was tracking you.
Right. Yeah.
Now, this picture was another one I just picked up off the floor. And it was one of the pictures that let me see if I can find it here. Oh, hell, I'm in a bad spot here. Let's see. I'm not sure what I did. Let's see.
Wonder what they look like now.
Oh, well. I messed up my buttons here.
The guy at the far bottom left looks like the guy from Mad Magazine.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what this was is just these people paid to get a picture done apparently, and they didn't want it. So it stayed on the back, but the only reason I kept it, because up here in the corner, right-hand corner, that's me and my friend Matt Burrell. He used to work there too.
Oh, I remember Matt.
Yeah, one of our nights off, drinking the 20-cent beers or the 55-cent pitchers, and we were just photobombing them. maybe that's why they didn't want it, you know.
Matt was a funny guy.
Yeah, he had his own TV show for a while in New Orleans.
Really?
For a while, yeah. What was a Saturday morning a kid show with the cartoons and all that. He was a funny guy. Yeah. Okay.
I remember him, yeah.
And I remember our wasn't employee prices, wasn't it 20-cent beers and 55-cent pitchers when you were off, if you wanted to go back there?
55-cent pitchers rings a bell to me.
Yeah.
55 cents pitchers? My God.
For the employees. If we decided to go there on our own, you know.
But then I went up to New York and it was free everything for employees.
Sure.
Really?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
We're talking about like if you mean even when you were off work?
Yeah.
Yes. Sure.
Okay. Wow. David, I got to talk to you about that.
It was out of my hands.
You almost charge us 20 cents a beer and 55 cents for a whole pitcher.
Joel didn't know it was happening. I'm sure that it was free.
Now, after work, they did not charge us. They would generally, if we wanted to hang around after work until we felt like going home, they would have the employee keg tapped up, and we could drink until we felt like going home. Yeah.
I remember leaving there, going over to the dungeon and leaving the dungeon about 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Or Mr. Perky's for breakfast.
I love Rizzo's, the Italian restaurant right next door.
Yeah.
You get home at 7 in the morning and wake up at 2 in the afternoon smelling like garlic.
It was better like, smelling like an ashtray.
Peter Vianitas used to like that Rizzo's too.
Yeah, I remember going over there with Les Bennett's, and at 4:30 in the morning and having a huge Italian dinner. Talk about acid indigestion. Jeez.
Wow.
Agita.
Acid is right.
Yeah. No, we generally go out and eat after work. Sometimes I would drive Ed Ali home. He lived down St. Charles Avenue, and we would stop at the Crystal usually. It was open 24 hours. And Mr.
I remember.
Yeah,
I remember his girlfriend Mary.
We would sometimes.
What was Mary's name? His girlfriend, Eddie's girlfriend, Mary. Somebody.
Mary Verver.
That's it.
Before he married Karen. Yeah. Yeah, Mary Verver. In fact, I found a picture of her. I couldn't find it right now, but it was one of the old Mustache Archive photos from when they were dancing at the halftime show of the New Orleans Saints. They were doing a sort of like one of those. The band was playing, and they were doing the flapper routine. Karen Ali, I think, and I think Mary Verver was out there too. So.
Well, we were talking about missing John. I got another video of Jeff that it's kind of fun to see.
Oh.
Put it up.
I see his forehead.
Yeah.
You should actually start telling when the first time we met Jeff Allswang was.
What? Go ahead, Eric. You're first.
Okay. Well, I first met Jeff Allswang at Lake Compounds.
Oh God.
He made me get on the roller coaster. They had a wooden roller coaster there.
The screen's frozen on mine, Tom.
Out of the car onto a roller.
All right, let me try. Try again. Okay.
We should actually start.
Is that any better?
Yeah, that's it.
it.
What?
Go ahead, Herb, you're first.
Okay. Well, I first met Jeff Alswine at Lake Compounds.
Oh, God.
He made me get on the roller coaster. They had a wooden roller coaster there. Just drove 4 hours and we got right out of the car onto a roller coaster. That's Jeff Alswine.
I just sat on the roller coaster. It was free. It was free.
And Jeff gets out the other. They had a burlap curtain at the Lake Compounds, and the curtain opens, and this crowd is screaming for Jeff. And Jeff walks up to the microphone and says to the crowd, he says, "What is this? The Planet of the Apes?"
So what was that, Herb? It was like what was Lake Compound? What was that?
The oldest,
It was just a campground where all the local residents used to go hang out, and I guess it was Jeff, you might be able to tell that better than
it
me.
was the oldest privately owned amusement park.
This goddamn.
It had been going on since 1870 something, and it had a big business during the big band days. They had bands come up and play. They had a beautiful hall. We didn't play in it. We played in the saloon dance. And John Murata hooked me up there every weekend.
So
Oh
Mike,
God, I don't know how long.
listen to you here.
And I got half the time
Got
I got musicians I didn't know.
my ear.
John just said anyone who was available.
That's how most of us got our first job.
God, I know he sent everybody up there. Warren Vichet played.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Warren was sober and he was 17.
So
I think it was 17. And oh God, I can't. It was an experience.
where was Lake Compounds? What state?
Connecticut.
We are. You saw her?
Yes, it was about.
in Joel's backyard. See him?
It was about a 2-hour drive from New York.
Go fucking Q-tip.
It's in Bristol, Connecticut. Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah, that was a good clip. You know, I miss seeing Jeff every
And
now
this Jeff, man, Jeff used to keep everything rolling. It was a lot more fun when Jeff was here.
So look, Danny hadn't been on the Zoom for a while. He said, "Ira looked like a fucking Q-tip."
Well, it's about time, in another 5 minutes, Ira should show up.
Yeah, well, but Ira, that's how we all looked back when we first started this Zoom thing. Everybody was in the middle of COVID.
A
Yeah.
Q-tip.
Yeah.
Oh man. So just now, Mike and I and Dottie, we went and had some fried shrimp and fried oysters and all kind of boiled shrimp.
Ooh,
We just
sounds
ate-
good.
Yeah,
Sounds good. Where do I sign?
yeah, fresh oysters.
Ooh.
Man, it was good.
Where'd you go, Barry?
I just found her on Facebook. That's Mary Berber today.
That's Mary Verver today.
Yeah.
Oh,
Y'all see the picture?
yeah, I see her.
Dave, you remember her?
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't see
She
it.
spelled her name Merry, not
Right.
like,
Right.
yeah. I liked her. She was fun.
I went to high school with Mary Rizzo, Merry.
Was everybody
Sorry,
feeling
Rick.
Mary?
Barry, where'd you get all your seafood?
We went to a place in Kenner called the Harbor Seafood.
Oh, that's great. That's
It was
great.
really good. You been there, Billy?
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really good.
Mhm.
In fact, Mike ate so much, as soon as we got home at 3 o'clock, he slept for an hour.
Yeah.
Mike ain't saying much, but he's got his Bluetooth speaker in his ear, so he's hearing everything. So,
That's good.
so we're better off anyway.
Here's a clip from the reunion, and this was Joel giving a history of his father's mustache.
Father's mustache started when I was at Harvard Business School. And my roommate and I wrote a report on a beer and banjo called Boston. We got a D on the paper.
Was that a whack?
This was in the new enterprise class.
Oh, okay.
It'll never work as a stupid idea. So anyway, I'm dissuaded. Not dissuaded. I went out to the Red Garter in California and signed a franchise agreement with Jack Dupin. Some of you have all heard about Jack Dupin.
One of your close friends.
I called Jack and invited him to Carnegie Hall. Well, he said, that's very nice of you called. Thank you very much. I haven't heard of it.
You said it was second?
I probably should have. Anyway, we started out as the Red Garter in Boston in January 12th, I think it was, of 1962. We opened Cape Cod in 1963, New York in 1964, New Orleans in 1965, and then it was downhill from there. St. Louis, Gaslight Square, Denver, Colorado, Larimer Square. We had a great run in Somers Point, New Jersey.
Yeah.
The reason was because Eastern Airlines was on strike. Not a lot of people here will remember that, but we had a 900-seat place there, it was full every night. I said, boy, you're gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we did for one summer. The next summer, Eastern Airlines came back up. And it's now a parking lot. Well, we went on from there and we floundered on until there was war and Vietnam and drugs and rock and roll.
Yeah.
That's overwhelmed us. And we gradually closed down the clubs. The one hope was that the New Orleans club would stay around forever. Totally enfranchised in the New Orleans scene. People came to New Orleans to see two things. Number one was Pat O'Brien. Number two was the husband. And then Porter, who we had hired out of a mental institution. Who claimed that most of the employees were from the same He set the place on fire.
Oh.
They did a very thorough job of getting the fire alarm fire.
Oh, gee.
And then I got sued for faulty hiring practices. So I lost the suit. I lost the suit, so I got the insurance company to pay for it. And then that was the last club. It's gone. I went to work at the farm. My father scrapped it.
What's wrong about that?
And I've been going ever since. So that's the story of your father's mustache. That's the story of Joel. No questions.
You left something out. At the 25th reunion, you said you commissioned Yale to do a study about why your father's mustache eventually went out of business. And you said it was because of
Me.
the employees. The employees. It's on film.
Can't you take the Joe?
You said that on the stage of the
Went out of business because the only people who go out at night are aged of 18 and 27 and 30. And they stopped going to places where they could sing 5:52.
Stop going to places where
They can sing on
I have a technical version of can't get no satisfaction. They're satisfied.
How did you choose the name your father's mustache?
Is that a trick question?
Throw a ringer in, Joel. I brought a ringer.
We had a contest. I got about 4,000 names, 3,000 of which was saggy stockings because you want the red garter. I said, that's really terrific. One person suggested your father. Well, that's kind of unbelievable, isn't it?
Was that your mother?
Did they have the tagline?
Did they have the tagline with it?
No. Okay. Anyway, so James Person from Boston, a tribute to her. And just check in the town and our hotel was very great.
Picture of warm Schlitz beer, I remember.
Where's the winner?
Joel, for those of us who were back in those days, first of all, thank you for doing this. But I remember going to bed one night. I remember going to bed one night, it was the Red Garter. And I woke up the next morning on Cape Cod, it was your father's mustache. All the signs were changed, it was incredible how this happened overnight.
We were well organized then.
We lived in the chicken coop in the back, too.
That was a sugar shack. The sugar shack.
Oh, yeah. But I think all of us want to say thanks.
Appreciate that, but tomorrow night we have a special segment set aside for after the party. To thank not me, but everybody who all working on it right now. Well, I don't want to do it now, because there are so many guys who chipped in and helped and did everything to make this thing work. Particularly when I was sick, because I was gone. All of a sudden I left. Completely, people calling in for tickets, calling for this, where the hell are my shoes? Unbelievable. I wasn't there. There was no one at the end of the line. So somehow they all picked up the slack and we're all here today.
Good deal.
All right, you guys have a chance to think about what stories. I want some good stories.
I got one.
All right, come on, here. Tennis condition.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
That was good.
I don't know if you can hear it okay or not, but I do have it to where you could download all the clips in high resolution off of the, and high definition off of my Google Drive if you want.
You know what? Joe mistakenly said that New Orleans was the last club. That's not true.
No, New York.
Yep.
New York. Hey, Ira, welcome.
Hey,
I
Barry.
told you, it's about the time for Ira to show up.
That's
Yep.
right. Barry, what does it say, Barry Mike?
Because Mike's at my garage and so is Danny. He's here. You see his face on the screen? It's a little
How could I
dark.
miss it? It takes up the whole screen.
Where you at, Big Ira?
Hey, Danny, how you doing?
All right, man. You shaved the beard, huh?
I thought you'd be on the sailboat on this meeting.
You always shave after Christmas, right? The Santa gig is over.
How you been? Good?
Good, all good, all good.
Good, good.
But yeah, the New York club was the last one open.
Yeah,
After Mustache burned down in New Orleans, I went to New York. So
with Danny.
yeah, Danny and Joe Terra and H.
Yep.
But so I guess Joel forgot or just mistake, and made a mistake.
Yeah. What year did New Orleans burn down? 75?
July of 75.
75.
And New York closed in January of 76.
Yep.
Yeah. Right after. Yeah.
Right after New Year's Eve. New Orleans would have still been open, not New York.
I think that's what Joe was alluding to just now. He said we had our hopes for New Orleans that one would never close because people came to New Orleans back then, two places, Pat O'Brien's and Eufaula's Mustache.
Right.
Yeah.
Both of them were packed every night, you know, and it might still be going, but in the words of Maynard Chatters, he says, you know, thinking back at it, it's probably the best thing that ever happened that the Mustache burned down because if it wouldn't have, we'd all be dead now.
That's true. That's probably true.
Speaking of
looking
Maynard
for a liver
Chatters,
transplant, huh?
I remember we did a song, Lucky Old Son.
Mike and I played that song this morning. We had the two banjos right here, and we played that song this morning.
Yeah.
Lucky old son. And did we play it this morning? Yeah, I thought we did.
Wow. That song was written in 1949.
How do you know that, Peter?
I looked it up.
Okay.
Maynard used to sing it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Maynard's still kicking. He's moving slower, but he's still kicking.
Good for him.
I talk to him every once in a while.
Unlike the rest of us, right?
Yeah, we're all moving slower.
Is Maynard still playing?
Yes, he still plays, and he plays like once a month at Preservation Hall.
Really?
Yeah, on the Preservation Hall website, there's a really good hour-long talk with Maynard about the history of him and stuff. How he got.
Yeah, Mike and I sat here and watched him. Oh, it's me and Danny. Yeah, Danny and I sat right here in the garage, put it on the TV screen and watched the whole hour interview. Most of it was not about Eufaula's Mustache or Preservation Hall. It's about his experience with educating.
Yeah.
I remember at the end of each break, Maynard would say, come on, Pete, let's go get ourselves a taste. And we go down to Conti Street to that little hole in the wall.
People's Grocery.
Yeah.
Grocery, yeah.
And
No,
got ourselves a
but Peter, if you remember, and I know Mike remembers this, but the club would sell us employee drinks for, I don't know, 20 cents a piece or something like that. 20 cents. And we decided that was too high. Right? That was too high, 20 cents a drink. So we talked to either David or Roger or Fred. I guess it was Fred at the time, who said, look, can we buy a bottle from you? You know, David was shaking his head. Maybe it was you, David. Yeah. Can we buy a bottle from you? You know, at cost. So the bottle cost, I don't know, $6. So we each put up some money and buy a bottle for $6. We decided that was too much. That was too much. And Maynard found the grocery store down the street that would sell us some cheaper liquor for less than that. And then we were satisfied.
Well, when the Mustache would buy it, they'd have to pay liquor tax on it too. So it's probably why they were cheaper at, you know.
So every night Maynard would say, hey, let's walk down the street and get a little taste, huh, Peter?
Yeah. What was the name of that grocery store?
People's.
People's,
yeah.
yeah. There was a handy little.
David, you remember that, huh? People's?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That old man, Mr. Johnny, was in there.
Yeah. The People's, Johnny White's for red beans and rice.
Buster's
too. Buster's was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember telling a lady.
Easy Eddie. You remember Easy Eddie?
Yeah, I remember that.
Where can I get some good New Orleans food? And I told her of people where Buster's was in, and it was, I think it was on Burgundy or wherever the hell it was. And I saw her the next night and I said, well, did you go there? She said, boy, it looked kind of seedy. I said, well, food was great. She never went in.
It looked too seedy. It did look seedy. That was on Orleans and Burgundy.
Yeah, you'd see a guy in a three-piece suit sitting next to a bum, getting the 99-cent red beans and rice with another buck with a sausage or a ham hock.
Oh, yeah.
Blood sausage. You get the blood sausage, Peter.
Yeah. If you put up an extra 15 cents, you got a piece of fried chicken.
Oh, Lord.
Johnny, what are you doing? Jacking off?
Getting my computer straight. My
Yeah.
microphone straight.
That's what they all say.
What is it for?
But sorry to
Clean that up.
Sorry to disappoint you, Peter.
No big thing.
My garage will never be the same with these two assholes here. I tell you.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't sell the house now, Bar.
Well,
You
my
know, and
Danny, we've been kicked out of better places.
I still have my picture
Yeah.
from the mustache up on the wall. Did I ever show you all that? I'm
Well,
gonna
yeah,
turn my computer around and see if y'all can see it. Can y'all see that picture?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Back up a little.
That's from the mustache.
I'm
I assume that.
I don't know if y'all can see it.
Yeah.
There it is, yeah. How about that? So my garage is your father's mustache today.
Did you steal that?
It was after the fire, and you could still walk in the place even after the fire, you know?
All I gotta say is my invitation must have got lost in the mail.
Well, you know what? Next time we're gonna invite you over here.
Yeah. Well, how long are you in town? You just,
I leave tomorrow morning.
okay. Thought you
Yeah,
might be in for
way back-
Barry's next
back from
Christmas.
Florida.
thing. Oh,
Way back from Florida. I went down for a wedding for
Mm.
my grandson's wedding.
okay.
And up and see Barry and Dottie and Danny and head on home tomorrow.
We went down to Bourbon Street last night, Dottie and Mike and myself, and we went and heard Danny play. And Danny sounded pretty good, I thought. He's still hanging in there.
Where were you playing, Danny? At the hotel?
No, it's a bar called the Maison Bourbon.
Isn't that in the hotel?
No, I used to play at the Royal Orleans. That was the
Oh,
hotel.
okay.
The Maison Bourbon is a jazz club on Bourbon Street. Bourbon in
Okay.
St. Peter. Right across
You've been
from
there
what is called Carno's Crazy Corner, where Barry and I first played on Bourbon Street a week and a half ago, 51 years ago.
Wow.
It was the Red Garter.
Yeah. Was that Nick Carno's place?
Yeah.
It was the Red Garter back then, 51 years ago.
When I was there in New Orleans, it was called Crazy Shirley's.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Well, Crazy Shirley's went back to being a banjo bar for a while.
Well, Carno, this is the kind of an idiot he was. He named it Carno's
Hold on, Danny.
Crazy Corner. And they had a big sign in front of it that said KKK. I swear to God, it's true.
You're kidding.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
Genius. Dave, you remember him, Nick Carno?
No.
Yeah.
He still owes me $25.
He's the guy, he was the mafia guy that owned all the rest of the clubs on Bourbon Street.
Pretty much,
He's
yeah.
the guy that walked into La Strada, which is right next to Rizzo on a corner. Rizzo's, he walked into La Strada, pulled out a gun and killed the guy and got away with it.
Well, wasn't it his manager he shot?
It might have been.
Yeah, that's what I heard. But I mean, I wasn't there, Nick. I swear.
No, that was Nick Carno.
Yeah.
I remember when the one of the nightclubs on the corner, it was on the corner of Bourbon and maybe St. Louis or one of the ones near us. And they ordered this new ice machine, some bunch of stuff. And the guy that sold it came and collect the money, and they paid him in cash. He said, can't you just write me a check? No. Paid him in cash with thousands of dollars. He got a half a block down the street and he got jumped.
Oh, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
And I think the guy got his money back.
Mm.
And then when we're in New York, the place that we go after work was the Riv. Across
Oh, that's closed.
the Riv.
The Riv went out, they closed about 2 years ago.
That's
Jim,
right.
you remember the Riv?
Very well.
Riviera.
Very well. In fact,
Riviera.
we went down there about 3 years ago just to have, for old time's sake kind of thing. And it closed shortly thereafter.
Yeah, I think it closed 2 years ago, Jim.
That sounds right.
The Riv, and then me and Ira and Danny used to go to Jimmy Days.
Jimmy Days.
Jimmy Days. It was a good restaurant. It was a restaurant bar.
Yeah, Danny took me to a place. Danny, what was that place called? The 80 Club 82 or somewhere you took us to?
Yeah, there was a Club 82. It
That's-
was
yeah.
underground, it was in a basement. It was crazy.
I think
Wild
so.
place.
Yeah, Club 82, Jimmy Days, Bill's Gay 90s.
Oh, yes.
Where Joe Terra's brother worked.
We'd go see Sal.
Arthur's Tavern.
Oh, Arthur's.
Arthur's was cool. They used to have jazz on Monday nights. That stopped this year. As a matter of fact, they've been going for 60 years.
Marie's Crisis is still open, I think, no?
Yeah, Marie Price is still open.
That was
You know what? When I worked there, I lived with Danny. We lived right across the street from all that on Grove Street.
Man,
Oh,
there were
really?
many
Right
nights
across
that
from
Barry
Marie's?
and I and Eddie Davis would play in Marie's Crisis, which was a gay bar filled with all these actors, dancers, chorus boys that knew the words to every single Broadway show tune. And Eddie Davis loved show tunes. And we would play there, and it was like having the fucking Mormon Tabernacle choir singing with us. It was crazy, crazy fun. Yeah.
And all the guys were dancing with the other guys.
Yeah, just like they're doing now. We used to go, me and Joe used to go shoot pool with George Hertz. Remember that?
George O. Hurt, sure, I remember it well.
Yeah, now it's called Boots and Saddle, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
George Hertz.
Those were the days, my friend. Huh?
Well,
Yeah.
There was some private club that Joe Terra took me to one afternoon to play pool in. You have to knock on a door. They look at you. Oh, they let Joe in. I go in with him. And I'm there about 20 minutes, and this young guy comes up to me with a box of shoes. And he says, "Well, find your size." I said, "What?" He says, "Look through the box and find your size." I said, "Why?" He says, "Because you're going to buy them." I said, "I don't need new shoes." He says, "You're going to buy them." And it didn't go well. I didn't want to buy them. I wasn't going to buy them. Joe Terra grabbed me and we left. It was a mafia joint, a club, a private
What
club.
place was that, Danny?
Oh,
you
I don't
remember it?
remember. It wasn't far from the Mustache on a little bitty side street that didn't go but a block or two long.
Gee, Danny, that takes, I bet you I can take your goddamn shoes to a new level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah, I'm
Billy.
trying to think of that place. I can't remember it. Maybe I was never there. Because we used to shoot pool with George Hertz.
But you also had didn't you have a fruit and vegetable market, you and Little Ira?
We
Where
had
was that?
Amity. It was called Amity.
And which street
That
was
was on
that?
West 3rd Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember when Danny and Little Ira sold Christmas trees in front of the Harry Lip office.
Yeah, that was after the club closed. Was that after?
Really?
No, the club was still open.
It
And,
was.
Schiavone never let me live down because the New York Times took a picture of me sitting on the sidewalk on the grate, the subway grate. All hot air would come up through there.
Oh,
It was freezing, and the only person that made any money on this deal was the guard that we hired to guard the trees from like 10 p.m. till 6 a.m. He made money. That was it. Me and I never did make a nickel.
But our Danny, they opened up that big talent agency. Remember that? It was called What's Up Productions. And would you call it our?
Wasn't that Kenny Case? I thought that was Kenny Case.
No, that was Danny and Lil Ira.
I don't remember that.
Isn't that right, Danny?
Yeah, that's right. And you remember Bill Dern?
Oh, sure.
Bill Dern, after he running around Manhattan with his shirt untucked and his big belly hanging out and being a crazy dude, produces a movie called Blow Dry. And it was a porno version of Shampoo, the movie Shampoo. And he went from making this porno movie to managing the boy band, the New Kids on the Block or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And he just passed away a couple of years ago. And he's a famous band producer and lived in California and made a ton of money.
Bill Dern?
Bill Dern.
Really?
Yeah, he was a producer. Yeah, you're right.
Is he still around?
No, he's gone. He died a couple of years ago.
About 2 years ago.
Well, when I saw him, he was playing at a hot dog stand down in Midtown. Remember that, Dan? At Nathan's.
Nathan's.
He's playing banjo at Nathan's.
So he had like this wiener motif then, huh? So blow dry and hot dog stands and stuff.
A wiener motif.
Yeah. Anyway. Wow. It's so great to have you guys here tonight.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
But it's somehow you got parallel stories from New Orleans and New York. The same shit was going on. Just
Of course.
in different areas.
Of
You
course.
could throw Wildwood into the mix too.
Well, that's right. Wildwood, same thing.
Right. Because I was there, I got with Joe and you and Danny.
Danny, Peter, me, and Mike, we all did Wildwood. You were there the whole time, Ira.
I was there in 76 was the first year.
Yeah. Yeah, Wildwood it was wild.
It's a good club. It was a
You know
good
what,
club.
Ira? They said
What?
that whole area where the Red Garter was,
Yeah.
all that has been torn away. It's all big condominiums now.
Oh, Jim Kane must have made a ton of money on that.
I'm sure.
I haven't been to Wildwood in a couple of years.
Well, that's his family. You know, I mean, he's gone.
Yeah.
And
What
his
do you
wife's
have?
gone too, so I'm sure his sons are filthy rich.
Oh.
And they were bad.
I think the youngest was BJ.
BJ, and you had Drew. Mike used to play ball with BJ, I think, didn't you, when you went up there? One of Jimmy King's kids?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But they were little hoodlums.
Guys, I need to go.
Okay, Peter.
Good.
Happy
Good to see you,
25th.
Pete.
We'll see you next week.
Look, Peter was up in Wildwood. Peter bought this fuchsia pink bathing suit.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, it was like a bikini.
That's when you want him to wear that to the next reunion we have.
Oh yeah, when he walked on the beach, all those waitresses from the club, they couldn't believe their eyes.
It was a Speedo.
Danny, you remember it, huh?
I couldn't possibly forget that.
I'm trying to. Take
Oh,
care.
Pete,
Okay, Peter. See you later. See you next week.
Bye.
Good night, Pete.
Take care, Pete.
They wrote that song Unforgettable about that bathing suit.
That's a whole nother verse in Nat King Cole's song.
Yeah, Unforgettable. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom's listening to his watch like Dick Tracy back there.
How long do these things go on?
It rang.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, Danny,
All right, well, hopefully next week you have some more shots. And you know what? I'm gonna go through the pictures Mike and I were looking through. There's a bunch of them that we haven't seen. I'm gonna send them to either Billy or Tom.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've got a lot more clips I uploaded from the reunion to, of different, but
Well, I'll look forward to it, but I gotta go now.
Okay.
That's right, Jim.
Swat.
See you guys later.
That
Happy
might have been our last reunion, the way things are going.
Yeah, I got that email from
Marty.
Marty, right? Yeah, at least somebody's working on it, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, guys, see you later.
All right. Bye.
All right,
Steve.
Nate.
Thanks, Nate.
Stay safe out there.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
Take care.
All right,
Danny,
see
good
you
seeing
later.
you.
Hey,
Okay,
Danny,
we
see you
checking out
Tuesday.
from New Orleans. We checking out. We'll see y'all next week.
All right.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Make
See you,
sure
Danny.
Danny's
Bye,
here too.
Adios, adios.
Danny.
Take care, Danny.
Bye, guys.